Welcome to week 4 of self-isolation vlogs. Today is April 11th, it's Saturday, and we've had a super busy morning. We've already done our walk and exercise. I've swept the pollen pods off the deck. If you're new here and you enjoy these type of videos as well as travel videos, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss anything new. A little later, I'm also going to clean out the pantry and organize my freezer. But right now it's about lunchtime, and Brian has been wanting the Bojangler fish sandwich. It's a special limited time fish sandwich. He's had one since they put it out. And we are both, especially me, reluctant to bring fast food into the house. I know they say it's safe, but I feel like the less things you bring in and the less people you interact with, the better. So I'm gonna make him a gluten-free fried fish, which will be nowhere near as good as the Bojangler because, for starters, there's no gluten. And also, he said he didn't want a bun, so it's not gonna have a bun either. So it's not really a Bojangler, but we're gonna give it a try. All right, he has some cod that's defrosted, and I've got egg that's just got salt and pepper in it. And then the mixture I'm using to bread it with is Old Bay, cayenne, garlic powder, tapioca flour, almond flour, and some gluten-free panko, which is freshly expired. Hopefully it's still good. The finished product looks really, really good. We're also gonna have some slaw and potatoes over to the side, but I wanted Brian to give this a try before he puts his sauce on. He made some sauce to put on it as well.
Which is just mayo.
And Old Bay.
Old Bay and cayenne pepper. All right. Mmm.
Is it good?
Mmm. That's tasty.
One project today. I'm trying every weekend to do some projects. This isn't a huge one, but I organized all my frozen meals. Like everything on the top is either pre-made breakfast or pre-made chicken for my lunches. Then I've got meats on this shelf I've got starches and vegetables on this shelf and meats or meals. Some of them are meals in a bowl where it's the whole meal in one bowl there, and I'm so glad I did it because I had way too much ground beef cooked up for my Chipotle bowls. I do not need to make that for several weeks. Project number 2 is cleaning off my 2 pantry shelves. You may laugh, but Brian has the top 2, and then I have these lower 2. I can't reach the top ones. They are a jumbled mess right now because, of course, you know, I've stocked up on a few things just in case. All right, the first of my 2 shelves is done, and as usual, it's good to do because I realized I had 2 containers of maple syrup, and it takes me, I don't even know how long to go through one of those. And I also have 3 open bags of cashews. 3. Well, actually, this one's not open. So 2 open bags, but still. So it's good to do this, see what's in there. So now onto the shelf down here. I know it may not look any better because of these 2 bags of chips right here, but this is pretty organized now. Got all my flowers organized. I did find expired flowers that were in the back, so it was good to clean this one out too. Other things that we've been doing in our spare time. Brian has been playing Animal Crossing. He just got this for Switch. He said it's super addictive. I have not played it. Here's Brian with his little house, and he's got a mask on, which I find very funny. I like his little lawn chair too. And most of today, after I finished my chores, I have been editing last week's isolation vlog, which you've already seen by now, most likely. If you haven't, I will link it above right now. And now I'm going to play some Lord of the Rings Online, which is a video game I enjoy. So in Lord of the Rings, one of the quests right now, because it's their spring festival, is to drink these beers in a hedge maze, and then you pass out. And you don't know where you're going to wake up, and so you have to try to find your way through the maze. And yes, that was not me, that was actually on the screen. So then you pass out, and you wake up somewhere random. Good old Lord of the Rings. It is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter. I know it's a week out when you see this, but today is actually Easter, so happy Easter. It is a beautiful looking day outside, and it's going to be in the mid-70s, which is perfect. Tomorrow I think it's going to be in the 80s, but tonight they are predicting super severe storms, which is unusual here. We actually don't get a lot of tornadoes here. It happens, but it's so rare. Like The last really bad one I remember was when I was a teenager. So, I mean, they're really rare. And also, it's a little early in the season. Like, if we're gonna get severe storms, it's usually in the summer. So April's a little early for that. I'll show you how beautiful it looks outside right now. It's the calm before the storm, I guess. It's still pretty early, so it's hard to tell, but you can see down there, the sun is filtering through the trees. It is sunny. It's just hard to tell because it's so early. This is in our bedroom, and I usually leave my gym bag that I take to the pool right here. I take all the wet stuff out and that kind of thing, but I leave most of the stuff like my flip-flops and stuff in there. And it just occurred to me that even when the pool opens, I will not be going back for a long time because, you swim in lanes and the person next to you is way closer than 6 feet. And people are breathing water, which I'm sure has saliva mixed in. I know it can't go through the chlorine in the pool. I'm talking about, the illness, but I still don't want someone spewing whatever from the lane next to me. So this is another thing that I won't be doing until there's a vaccine or, some other way to know I'm immune. So I'm going to unpack the bag completely and put all this stuff up because I have a feeling it's going to be months before I'll go back to the pool. It is time. We're going to time lapse the completion of the puzzle because it's down to, we think, under 50 pieces. I'd say 40, it's even, 50. Yeah, I'd say it's less than 50 at this point. You can see them over on this side and if you're over here. It's so funny though, while I was setting the camera up, Brian put yet another piece and he can't control himself with this puzzle. It's so funny. I'd say he's worked 75% of the puzzle and no. I've done 25. Yeah, I think so. He's really been addicted. So let's do this. All right, so here we are. We only have one piece left. Brian, you do the honors.
No, you do the honors.
No, you've done most of it. Da, 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 da.
That was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun.
It's massive. So that's 1,000 pieces right there.
Here's a more up close pass all the way down so you can see it finished. This was really neat. So what made it difficult to me is all of this is drawings, none of it's photos. And so the drawing style is similar. It's probably the same artist that did all of it. So that makes the faces look kind of alike. Now that we have half of our dining room table back from the puzzle where the pieces all were, we're gonna do a tabletop game. We love the whole pandemic series, has nothing to do with the current circumstances. We've always enjoyed their games. And this one is my favorite of all of them. It's Pandemic the Cure Experimental Meds. The reason I like it is it's a pretty fast-paced dice game. Some of the pandemic games can take a really long time to play, but this one is pretty quick and pretty easy to pick up. Brian got us all set up for Pandemic the Cure. I am the dispatcher. And Brian said he's the generalist, which means he's basically not good at anything. So you don't get to pick your character's order, you randomly pick. So it's not something you can choose. And so here's our setup. And so we each get dice that have these different symbols on it. And the whole purpose of the game is to try to keep these outbreaks down. These are like outbreaks in certain areas while looking for the cure. And so you either win or you don't, and usually don't. These games, that's what's nice about these games, the pandemic series, they're actually pretty hard to win, which we like a challenge, and they are cooperative. This is what it looks like when you're losing. See all these dice? This is bad, and it's because we aren't rolling any of these plus signs. We did find one cure so far, but that's not good enough. Oh, Brian just rolled one, yay. These pluses let you buy these extra ability cards, and we have only been able to buy one card the whole game, and that's why we're losing. Well, we found 2 cures, but we lost fast. I think this is the fastest game we have ever lost. We just could not roll these pluses enough Plus, the cards that were out, it's random, there's a deck, they weren't that great. Like, sometimes these cards are really powerful. We didn't really get anything all that great. Oh well. This is sad. Brian wanted to frame this, and I told him he should. It's huge, though. I don't know where we could get you'd have to have a poster-size frame. This is huge. But now he's decided to demolish it. I told him he could put it up if he
we already
wants.
set up for the new one.
We got the new puzzle out, so that's this one over here. All right, so he's gonna start taking it apart.
Sad.
It is sad. Don't
long.
mix it up with these.
It took us so long to get to this point, but it has to come down, I guess.
Oh, well, at least we can recycle it and give it to someone else to do.
There we go.
Oh, all that work. Or we could save it for a while and redo it. On the new puzzle, I got a little carried away. I did the whole outside. It's definitely easier than the other puzzle, but it's still challenging because a lot of these pieces look alike. Like, there's not as many distinctive designs as on that other puzzle. I came into the dining room to try to get away from the noise. Got all kinds of things going on in the kitchen, including our really loud dishwasher. It is Monday, but it is late Monday. Well, not late, but I mean well into the day, because Monday is the day I go to the grocery store at lunch, and after I get back from the grocery store, I take a shower, which is why my hair's still wet. I wash the clothes I was wearing, I wipe everything down. It's just my least favorite thing. And I realize if that's my biggest problem, I'm doing good, I got it, but I really don't like it. The employees were out in forced stocking. They were all wearing masks, which is great, but every aisle had like 2 employees, and the aisles are narrow, and they were stocking, so I mean, they can't leave, and you can't wait for them to leave, and so passed tons of people because they were stocking. But in any case, it's done, it's over. I have had this book forever, since it came out a long, long time ago. There's the authors, and if you like paleo or gluten-free or anything close to that, grain-free, I highly recommend this book. It has so many good recipes. It's still my go-to. I've got tons more books now. I picked it up because of the glare, but I still keep going back to this one. I'm going to make these no oatmeal cookies. They're grain-free oatmeal cookies, and they really do taste like oatmeal raisin cookies. Like, Brian even says he can't tell the difference. But I haven't done much baking since we've been in this situation that we're in right now, so I feel like it's time to bake something. As much as I'd love to share this recipe with you, I don't feel like that's right due to copyright, because their book is something they worked at. So you might be able to Google it on the web, because they do put some of their recipes on the web, but these are some of the ingredients that are in it. So you can tell it's all like healthy stuff. There is maple syrup for the quote sweetener. There's also cinnamon I'm not showing, and raisins. Well, no, actually the raisins are here. But it's so, so good. It's one of my favorite desserts. Obviously, I put them a little too close together on the pan, but they look and smell amazing. I said that we were lucky and nothing bad happened, but sadly, our neighbors were not so lucky. That tree came down. It's really hard to tell from here, but we think it might be over the fence, which I guess that's not the neighbor to the right. I think it's the neighbor on the other side's fence. At least it didn't hit the swing set, because they have been using that swing set like crazy during this period. Brian just used our binoculars to look, and he said it is on their fence, so that really, really stinks. And he said it only needed to move like a couple of feet to not hit the fence. That is a bummer. I'm downstairs now, and I think you can actually see the tree better from here, and that's just the top of the tree. It's actually a really big tree. I feel so bad for them. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and it's a beautiful day outside today. It was in the 80s yesterday. Today it's going to be in the 60s, so it's quite a cool down, probably because of that giant band of storms that came through. But at least it's not cold. I mean, it's moderate weather, and we're going to be up and down. That's typical for this time of the year here. I'm ready for full 80s all the time, but it's going to be a little while before we get there. Just another day at the home office. Now we're out for our walk. It's almost 60, so I didn't even need this jacket. It actually feels great out. There's no breeze today. Quite a contrast from yesterday. You enjoying your walk?
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice walk today. Since I got groceries yesterday, it is batch cooking day today after work. I was only going to make one thing batch this week. I was going to make the Instant Pot cashew chicken. If you're interested in the recipe, I believe it's Living Loving Paleo. That's the website, and you can just search for Instant Pot cashew chicken. She also has another recipe I love, though. It's honey mustard chicken, but I leave the honey out. I felt like it was a little too sweet, and I actually really love the mustard flavor. So When I went to the store, they only had chicken thighs in the boneless, skinless in 3.5 pound prepackaged packages. They didn't have any in the fresh butcher section, and they didn't have smaller packs than that. And so they had a limit on mushrooms, so I couldn't get enough mushrooms to double the cashew chicken recipe. So that's why I'm going to do the 2 different recipes. Right while I started talking to you guys, I heard this loud noise, and it looks like our neighbors have hired someone to remove the tree that fell yesterday. The tree is gone, and there is some damage to the fence, but it looks pretty minor in the big scheme of things. I think they were pretty lucky. It's never lucky to have a tree fall on anything, but at least it wasn't too bad. It wasn't their house. All right, I've done my prep chopping. This is the garlic and ginger, the mushrooms and the green pepper. And that's a question for you in the comments. If you cook, do you prep everything before you start cooking, or do you sort of do it as you go? Just curious. And then over here are all the ingredients for the sauce for the rest of it. Some of it you put in different steps. But like I said, that recipe is out there. It's free to anyone who wants to use it. And this is part of what's happening right now with this new situation we're in. I could not find my normal brand, which is this. And it's almost empty. It's down to like the last little bit. And so I had to buy a different brand. So hopefully it'll be just as good. But that's one of the things I've found myself having to do. Are you having to do that, to just sort of switch brands or buy a more expensive brand or whatever just to get what you want? While the cashew chicken is finishing up in the Instant Pot, I started doing the prep for the honey mustard chicken, which in my case is just mustard chicken because I didn't like the honey in it. This is the garlic. It's 4 cloves. Got half a lemon. I'm going to make myself some lemonade. I'll show you that in a minute with the other half. And chicken broth, mustard. It has to be that, stone ground or spicy mustard. Back to the coconut aminos again, ghee, and salt and pepper, and that is it. And the other thing I love about this recipe is you don't have to chop the chicken before you put it in. The chicken stays as whole thighs, so that makes, to me, this recipe super easy. So literally, the only thing you have to do is cut a lemon in half and chop and mince the garlic. That is it. I always feel like when I release this steam, even though I have this as far forward on the counter as it will possibly go, I feel like I'm steam cleaning my poor Mickey clock. I hope it doesn't kill that clock, but hopefully it's far enough forward. While I'm waiting on the Instant Pot to depressurize, I guess, I made lemonade, and it's so easy. It's a half a lemon, a few drops. I put about 8 drops of stevia, and this is an herbal sweetener. There's no actual sugar in it, and water, and that's it. And I'd say it's a tart lemonade, but I like my lemonade tart. This will never cease to remind me of video games from my youth, which would be like in the 80s. In closing also, it just cracks me up. It's probably gonna fog up here, but there's what the cashew chicken looks like before I add the cashews and that slurry to thicken it. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll have the final product. There are 4 servings. Sometimes it makes 5. I don't know why, because I pretty much use the same ingredients. I guess sometimes the mushrooms are bigger or peppers are bigger. I don't know. But what I love about it is it freezes so well because it's in its own liquid. It's almost like a stew, so it reheats really, really nicely. Here's the finished mustard chicken. I made 5 servings. And one thing I found out about this sauce is it's great when you reheat it. You can put it on broccoli as well. So I'll usually reheat roasted broccoli when I reheat this, and then put the sauce on both. For some reason, it's really delicious on broccoli. Happy Wednesday! It is another blustery day. Not dangerous weather, but there is a little wind and rain. The wind's sporadic, but the rain is happening, and I think it's supposed to be dreary all day and sort of unseasonably cool. I think the high is in the 50s today, which isn't bad. It's just not typical for us in mid-April. Usually by now it's pretty warm. And it looks like after today, though, it goes back up 60s, 70s, really great, moderate weather, which I'm looking forward to. And I think all of next week is dry, which even though it's been nice to have the pollen washed away, I'm getting a little rained out, so I'm ready for some sun. We did get some somewhat good news. I don't know if all of you know this, but we were supposed to go to Disney World in May. Disney has already canceled up to May 2nd, but they haven't canceled the full week of our trip yet. And we rent DVC points, and so we can't get a refund. We've already contacted the rental place, can't get a refund. And so we have to wait to file trip insurance. So we're waiting on Disney World to officially close during our dates so that we can file the claim. But we got good news today from Southwest. They canceled our flights, which was awesome because since they canceled, not us, we were able to get a full refund. They automatically gave us a credit, which we could use in, I think we had a year to use it. But since we don't know when we're gonna travel and where we're gonna travel and what the future holds right now, we called them and they immediately gave us a refund, which Brian informed me during this current period, he saw in the news is the law that I guess they have to refund you. I didn't know that, but either way, they made it so easy. So props to Southwest. We've always had good experience with them. They were good to us during Irma when we were down at Walt Disney World. That was a hurricane. So we've been so pleased with them. In general, can't recommend them enough. So just wanted to give them a thumbs up and cross your fingers for us that we'll be able to file this claim soon and that they will pay the claim. And I've had people tell me, oh, they won't pay for DVC rental. They did for us during Irma. We had to leave early because of Irma and we filed a claim. We use AIG Travel Guard and they've always been fantastic. And so hopefully they will pay this time as well, but at least we don't have to file a claim for the flight, which is great. And I know there's people with much bigger travel issues than us. I am not complaining. I just want to get this done. You know what I mean? Like something hanging over you, just want to get it done. It is Thursday morning and I want to show you, we did a little more, I actually worked some of that new puzzle. Today the weather's supposed to be a little bit more moderate and I think the sun's supposed to come out, which will be nice. Brian's anxious to get our screen porch set back up and get the furniture out, but I just checked and the pollen count's still high. So I don't know when we're gonna do that exactly. But I think the worst of the bright yellow, which is the part that gets in the furniture, I'm talking about visibly gets in the furniture, is over. So I don't know, maybe we'll just go ahead and bring it out and not bring the cushions out so they don't get the pollen on them. I don't know, we'll see. Brian has done the majority of this and it's actually wrapping up pretty quickly. I guess that's a 500 versus 1,000. And we've already finished this puzzle. So 500 pieces, definitely way easier. It only took a few days. Despite the fact that, like I said, the colors are kind of similar and I wasn't crazy about this one, still way easier than the 1,000 piece. Hello, it is Friday. As you can see, I'm about to start work and it's very early. Poor Brian had to go into work, not to work all day, but some of his systems needed restarted and there's no way for him to do that remotely, so he had to go in. And we've been trying to grocery shop on Mondays. That's not going so well, so he's going to try going Friday today instead for our next week's groceries. We're trying to go only once a week and see how that goes, see if that's any better, like a better day to go. So wishing him well today. It always makes me uneasy when one of us has to leave the house. Also, the news came out yesterday that they're talking about, you know, sort of people going back to work. Not now, but I mean soon-ish. I feel like it's way too early. Leave a comment what you think. I know some of you are still working and I know that's gotta be stressful, but for those that are working from home or furloughed or whatever, let me know in the comments below what you think about them sort of talking about reopening things already. I think it's way too soon. And for reference, it's like mid-April right now. And they're talking about like maybe by the end of this month. Also, Disney World never really posted a statement that they're closed through our trip dates, but they canceled our reservation. And they also have their park hours. There's no park hours if you look at their, you know, website through May 9th. So now our trip is completely covered. So I have filed our insurance claim. No idea if they'll pay it. I know I've heard a lot of stories that because of the current situation, they're being even harsher about covering things. They paid during Irma for our DVC rental. So they have done it in the past, but I have no way to know if they'll do it this time. You know, it just, I don't know. It'll be disappointing if they don't, because that's why you buy trip insurance, but I know these are unusual times, so we'll see. I've decided just to make peace with it. If they pay it, they pay it. If they don't, they don't. I will definitely not ever rent DVC points again, though, I can tell you that. I've not been pleased with how the person I rented the points from has handled it, nor the rental place that I use. I just haven't been happy with any of it. This is not a circumstance anyone could have foreseen. I knew there were risks, but this is a risk none of us could have anticipated. So I will not be doing it again. Let us know in the comments what you think about, like, I know a lot of you probably haven't rented DVC points, but now that this has happened, would you now take the chance? And I'm not talking about renting from someone you know, like a person. That's different. I'm sure that person would work with you. I'm talking about these third-party rentals where you don't know the other person. Would you be willing to take that risk? Now, we are definitely not. I will be going straight through Disney from now on, which means we'll be going back to a regular room because we can't afford a DVC room. I'm talking about renting one from Disney. So it means we'll be going back to a regular type room the next time we go to Disney, which isn't going to be for a while because of the current circumstance, of course. We have a cat. Well, now he's cleaning himself. He was rolling around. That's our neighbor's cat. He loves our sidewalk area for some reason, and we love him. We like when he comes to visit. So he likes to sit right here on our front porch steps too. I guess it's a good spot. It's funny how first he was rolling and now he's cleaning, so I don't know if that's like a schedule, so you roll first, then you clean. And now he's on our steps. That's his little routine. So cute. Work time is over. It's time for a tabletop game. Today's game is Machi Koro. And this is an interesting game. It's sort of like a dice game. You roll dice, but you buy these sort of stores, business centers, pizza joint, tuna boat. You see that, and you add it to what you have over here, and also you can acquire these over time as well. So there's a lot to it, but it's easy to learn and a lot of fun. We actually ended up doing something we almost never do and culling the game because I still have, how you win the game is to buy all of these. I still have 3 to go and they're very expensive. They're 16, 22, and 30. Brian was down to 1. And he had some really powerful cards where he kept taking all of my money, so I was never going to be able to get enough money to buy these. So usually this game's pretty close for us. So Brian reminded me we have 2 expansions, so I don't know if the expansions are the difference, but this was not a close game at all. Brian annihilated me basically, so we called it. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the video on your screen right now and also subscribe and click the bell so you won't miss anything. Thanks so much for watching. Until our next adventure.